Hey guys, it's Joyen from the Philippines and we're part of the World Burlesque team. Today I'm going to teach you how to wear this corset. Now this tutorial is a general explanation on how to wear corsets for fashion. If you guys are into the more extreme stuff like waist training or body modification, then I suggest you guys consult with your corset PA. I absolutely love corsets. Women have been wearing these things for centuries, both inside and outside of their clothes, just to attain this perfect hourglass figure. Corsets really cinch your waist and exaggerate the bust and hip lines, even though in my case, there's not much there. So here are some tips for getting your first corset. Number 1, quality. Good corsets don't come cheap, so be prepared to spend a bit extra for this new hobby. Remember, you're not only getting a superior product, but you're also getting the support from expert corsetiers. These serious and experienced corset makers will definitely help you a lot in your corset journey. Tip number 2, fit. In line with the first point, one of the trickiest things that you have to deal with corsets is the sizing. Typically, generally, you should buy corsets that are around 4 inches less than your natural waistline measurements. Your natural waistline being that part of your waist where you bend. The corset should also fit your body type. So are you busty or flat as a board? Do you have a long torso or a short torso? Number 3 tip is function. What are you using for? What do you need the corset for? Are you using it for maybe fashion or costuming purposes, like the purposes of this video? Are you getting into waist training? Did you get a corset to improve your posture? Now, these tips will help you pick what kind of corset works best for you. So what are the different types and parts of corset? There are 2 common types of corsets. One is the overbust, which goes over your bust, and the underbust, which goes under your bust. And here are the basic parts of a corset. You have the busk, which is the rigid part with metal fasteners at the center front of the corset. The boning are the steel rods, which are responsible for cinching the tiny waist. The modesty panel is this rectangular piece of cloth that sits behind the laces, and it does 2 things. It covers the Venus folds, as I like to call them, as well as prevents the lacing from burning the skin. The laces are the strings that we pull on to adjust the tightness of the corset. And the grommets are the holes that these strings pass through. The fabric is a mix of very strong and flexible pieces of cloth. Now, wearing a corset. First, we need to make sure that the lacing is correct. The laces should meet in the middle of the corset. Pulling the top laces tightens up the top part of the corset, and pulling on the lower laces tightens the lower part of the corset. Now, loosen up the lacing of the corset so you can wrap it easily around your body. Make sure they're nice and loose, because if this is too tight, you won't be able to wrap it around comfortably. You may or may not use a corset liner at this point. Next, close the fasteners of the bust together. I like to start from the middle. Working my way outward. Now, with the mirror as your reference, start pulling the laces so you can adjust the fit accordingly. Remember, the top laces make the top part tighter, and the lower laces make the lower part tighter. And you can adjust the modesty panel at this point, but I like it bareback. So once you've achieved your desired tightness, I just simply square knot the laces. And if your laces are insanely long, you can actually opt to cut them. As for me, I'll just knot all 4 laces together. Simple square knot. Right over left, left over right. It's nice and tight. And then to shorten these even more, I will just ribbon them. And if you still have insane length going on here, what I would do is I would just tuck all of these tails neatly inside the corset underneath here, just to hide all of that extra length. Now, it's very important to not ribbon your laces in front or over the corset just to get rid of that extra length, because not only is that unsightly on your beautiful corset, but it also could damage the fabric because of the friction. So lastly, do final checks with your corset. Make sure that everything is in place. As you can see here at the back, I really, oh, there you go. Try to be super neat with the tucking of the laces, of the extra length of the laces here. And a proper and well-fitting corset and properly laced corset should have a gap here at the back with the sides parallel with each other. And remember though that although it will take time to get used to the feeling of wearing a corset, especially if you're a beginner, there shouldn't be any pain at all while wearing your corset. And if there is, you should take it out immediately or at least loosen it. So some final tips about wearing a corset before ending this video. Tip number 1, be patient. Buying your first corset, wearing your first corset, it's really confusing and frustrating at the beginning. But if you keep your lines open with your corsetier and you do a lot of research and practice, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Tip number 2, listen to your body. Wearing a corset modifies a lot of our daily activities. It keeps our body in a straight, erect position all day while we're wearing it. So we can't eat as much as we would normally do, and we can't drink so much soda. Try to train your body slowly but surely. Try to first, slowly get used to these things rather than going from 0 to 100. And tip number 3, enjoy this wonderful garment. Enjoy this wonderful garment. We are now at the end of this very short and sweet tutorial video on how to wear a corset presented by the World Burlesque Day team. And I hope this simple guide empowers you to enjoy your body more. Again, this is Joyen from the Philippines, welcoming you to the wonderful world of hourglass figures.